Leafs fans would hang a banner that
The
Dryden
Leafs
Hunt didn't
banner.
get claimed on the waivers
I fucking
at the Coca-Cola Coliseum and Scotiabank Arena. Put a banner in both arenas. The Dryden Hunt still Leaf.
Sure.
Jonathan
Welcome
Taves
to
stars.
another episode of Wrinkles in the Crease, where we take a look at the stories in hockey and iron out the details. I am your host, Zachary Morgan, and I have with me, as always, my co-host, Natasha Gershon. Natasha, what is going on?
It's good.
It's good. That is what's
Yeah.
going on. It's good. Fantastic. Awesome. Trevor, the less than real deal, Trevor Neal. What's going on, buddy?
I feel great. I'm so excited to report again. Look
Oh, me
forward to this
too.
all week.
Oh, me
It's
too.
always so fun.
This is going to be such a great.
It's
Great
an
thing.
hour a week that I can sit down and go, how can I just piss Zach off a little bit on camera?
Oh,
That's
it's funny that you mentioned
highlight
that
my week.
because I knew coming into today's that I would be what's the word?
Heated,
Yeah.
engaged,
Yeah.
loud,
Well,
bunch of words.
before we get into all of that, quickly just from the Wrinkles in the Crease group cast. I don't know
Family.
what to call us. This family.
The family.
Happy Lunar New Year out there to anyone celebrating. Yeah. Happy Lunar
I didn't
New
know it
Year.
was
Enjoy 'em.
Lunar New Year until like today. So happy Lunar
Yeah,
New Year.
It was over the
Yeah.
weekend.
Happy Lunar New Year.
Yep.
Go enjoy a mooncake.
Sounds good.
I think that's what we celebrate. I don't know.
I don't really know. Guys, the Canucks.
Yeah.
The Vancouver Canucks.
They did Bruce Boudreau so wrong. They did him so wrong. That's my take.
Is it before
So-
we go to the
Take.
details,
Before we
Cannot
really
replace him with a Rick.
talk
before we go much further with that, let's kind of recap exactly what happened. So
Yeah.
the least
Let's do
surprising move around the NHL on I guess yesterday evening.
Morning. morning was
Sunday
it
morning?
got done.
Evening.
Yeah, it got done like 9 a.m.
Ish.
local time. He just called me off.
Got it.
9 or
Sunday
9:30.
morning.
Okay.
Okay, so around Sunday morning, the news finally broke, shocking no one because we all knew it was kind of coming.
Whoa!
Bruce
My
Boudreau was fired by the Vancouver Canucks and replaced
God,
with
really?
Rick Tocchet.
Oh my god!
This has been one of the most ridiculous situations I've kept my eye on. For those who don't know, apparently Rick Tocchet gave his notice to ESPN.
4-week notice.
His 4-week
TNT.
notice to ESPN.
Not ESPN.
TNT.
Exactly.
To
Thank
TNT.
you.
Excuse me. Pardon me.
That
Yeah.
changes the
His
story.
4-week notice to TNT that he was leaving for the
To coach
Vancouver job.
Canucks. Yeah.
So for 4 weeks, you had a lame duck coach in Bruce Boudreau, and the last week, Vancouver fans have shown their support for him immensely. Bruce, there it is, was a chant that was ringing through the Vancouver arena
every night.
every night they could.
It's the only
Because-
thing Vancouver's had to cheer for all season.
Is
just
to
to
get
show
behind
support
a
for
guy
Bruce.
who's being absolutely just disrespected in ways that you couldn't imagine. What's
Yeah.
also amazing is look at the resume between the two coaches. You're treating one of the greats like this so that you can bring on Rick Tocchet, a guy who coached
who's had
for
one
6
head coaching
seasons.
job. Wait,
Yeah.
he coached for 6 years?
6 seasons, and he missed the playoffs 5 times.
He was a head coach for 6 years?
Wasn't he with Arizona?
Yeah,
Yes.
he's with
Yeah.
because he left the assistant job in Pittsburgh to go to Arizona.
Yes.
And that's one of the reasons Phil Kessel went to Arizona, because he really likes Rick
Yeah.
Tocchet.
Mm.
I just can't believe he was there 6 years. And the one year he made the playoffs was the freaking bubble, wasn't it? Which doesn't
Yeah.
count. Yeah. Rick Tocchet, everybody, replaced Bruce Boudreau. And I
Oh
grew
no,
up
I'm so
with-
sorry. Rick Tocchet was not head. Yeah, he was an interim head coach for Phoenix,
Oh God.
and then he was head coach of the Coyotes for 3 seasons. I don't know where I read 5 seasons. Granted,
He has no resume for a head coach.
Yeah.
You
It's
coach
not-
not real hockey.
oh no,
team.
no. He was also head coach 2 years in Tampa Bay. That's what it is.
Oh God.
Oh.
Yeah.
Not a
Yeah.
good Tampa Bay though. There's
So he
no way.
he did 4 years in Tampa Bay, or 2 years in Tampa Bay, excuse me, and 4 years in Arizona, missing the playoffs in 5 of those 6 years.
Mm. And like I was gonna say, like I grew up with Bruce Boudreau as the coach of my arch rival Washington Capitals, and I hated Bruce for a long time because he was a great coach.
Yeah.
He probably should have got Washington a cup realistically, but Washington was cursed at the time.
Washington was cursed at the time. You could make the argument. I'm giving Bruce Boudreau a lot of praise. Let's not disregard every single playoff collapse that this man has been a part of.
It's been a lot.
It's been a lot, and it's not something that really, you can blame on one team. He seems to be snake bitten.
Yeah. And that's nothing against him as a coach, I don't think. I think it's just I don't think Bruce Boudreau's fault that he kept losing Game 7 after Game 7. Because was he with Anaheim? Am I remembering that correctly? And he had trouble winning Game 7 there? Yeah. And trouble with Washington.
He couldn't win a Game 7 at home to save his life. That's like his specialty, losing Game 7s at home.
Sometimes it happens. Look at the Leafs. I mean, sometimes it happens.
Sometimes it happens. But I cannot stress enough, even with every single one of those collapses, he still has a significantly better record than Rick Tocchet, who also was arrested for some illegal gambling ring. Natasha?
I think it was twice, wasn't it?
Natasha, I believe you have more information than I do on this.
I don't. I really did not look into this at all, but yeah, it happened. He was arrested and guilty for his role in an illegal gambling ring.
Now, was he found guilty or did he plead guilty?
And then he was arrested and guilty again in 2011 of making a false declaration while taking more than $18,000 in cash across a border. So yeah.
He did plead guilty to one in 2007.
Yeah.
Wayne Gretzky
shout out in New Jersey too.
Hashtag Rick Tuckett Gate.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. But like, could you imagine? Like, let's say, Zach, you're working in the public eye, and you're told, "Hey, you're being fired, but not for another month. Have fun for a month."
Quite frankly, Bruce Boudreau handled that with a lot more class than I would.
I would have just quit.
Yeah,
I would have gone home.
Have fun, figure it out. Like I owe you
want
nothing
me to coach
at that
the
point.
Canucks? You're making me sit through Vancouver Canucks games, and I'm being fired. I'm just gonna go home.
The only thing that could keep me is if there's some clause in there where I don't get paid if I walk.
If I quit, that's probably it. Because no person would sit through JT Miller purposely, like willingly,
voluntarily.
Stop that. No, stop. Let's not pick on the Vancouver Canucks players right now.
It's not. They're going through it. It was a very.
They're going through it.
I feel bad for the Canucks, like the fan base, because I mean they really did deserve better, and now they have Rick Tuckett.
Nothing.
So.
They deserve better, and the players deserve better. And you know what? Say what you will about Bruce Boudreau. Say everything we've been saying. One thing you cannot argue: his players love him.
Yeah, they love him.
His players love him and love playing for him, and would absolutely take a bullet for this guy.
And have you seen like the videos of him in the locker room talking to players? I'm like, damn, I want to lace him up for this guy.
The report is that every player went one by one into the office as they were having a post-game cold one because they knew what was coming.
The last one.
Yeah.
And
every single one came and gave something and said something. It got very emotional. And JT Miller got extremely emotional, reportedly. There's a time and a place to make fun of JT Miller. This is not that time.
Yeah.
Next week will be.
He matters a lot.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Next week is fine. Yeah.
Yeah. But no,
I couldn't be playing in that situation.
The players really care.
Canucks players and Bruce Boudreau handled this with as much class as you possibly can. That is the ideal thing that you want out of that locker room. The organization and front office of the Vancouver Canucks is an embarrassment to the league in this particular moment.
It is the worst run franchise in North America, and I don't think it's close. They play on the same continent as the New York Jets, and they might be worse run than them. I don't think it's close. The Canucks are they stumbled upon some serious talent. Like that team is very talented, and they just waste it. They have more.
Quinn Hughes. You could make the argument. Sans Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid. You can make a very good argument that Quinn Hughes is the best skater in that division, if you exclude those first two.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
I mean,
you could make the argument on some nights that Quinn Hughes is comparable to Cale Makar. Not better, but same tier some nights.
It's hard to tell though, because
he
team
plays
around
for the freaking Canucks
has never been good.
The Canucks.
But let's not forget, this was a guy who was dazzling the league.
Oh yeah.
And he's still very capable of that. But with everything going on in Vancouver, the Tanner Pearson situation. Now you've got Rick Tocchet, who
is not a coach. It's just not.
He's not a. In being nice to Rick Tocchet, which this may be the only time I try and do this tonight, he is not a proven commodity.
No, he's not.
There is a lot that need. There are a lot of questions that should be answered.
He's a coach because he played for the Penguins when they were good, and that's why he's a coach. Like, there's no other. He has no resume to be.
He's a coach by name only.
There are guys, but hell, Mike Babcock may be a better option than Rick Tocchet. Okay, and honestly, we wouldn't have been surprised if Babcock took that job at this point. Though it's a rough look to fire Bruce Boudreau for Mike Babcock. So
yeah, that would be an interesting look. Hey, here's a guy that every player loves playing for.
Let's fix that.
Babcock.
Let's replace him with someone everyone
Satan.
Hates. Do you want to play a game of psychological head games? Do you want to emotionally damage your young star?
No.
Yeah.
By all means, hire Mike Babcock, my new client.
You want to lose in a Game 7 again? Mike Babcock.
Do you really not want to get out of the first round?
Ever? Even after you fire him, you're not getting out of one. He stays. The psyche stays.
The stain of Mike Babcock will stay on your franchise forever. If you had what could have been like a 50-year Stanley Cup drought, congratulations. Adding Mike Babcock to the mix is guaranteed
we'll make
to
it
add
100
at least
year.
10 to 15 years to that drought.
We'll make it a centennial.
I love after he left the Leafs, he went to coach like the University of Saskatchewan and then blew a 4-1 lead in the last period or the third period of an elimination game.
That's amazing.
Got him.
Mike Babcock, everybody.
Classic Mike Babcock, classic.
Mike Babcock. Available in stores soon. Please call this 1-800
in the clearance
to get
bin.
your bottle of Mike Babcock
in the
today.
back of the store.
Start losing in the first round every year right now.
You want to give your fans a little bit of hope, but not too much. Mike Babcock.
All right.
More like no hope.
No, he gives a little bit of hope, but it's all crushed.
Speaking of no hope, no. So the NHL All-Star Game fan vote ended.
Yeah,
the rosters are out.
The fan vote.
# rigged.
Super rigged.
There is a theory that not a single fan vote was counted, and I kind of believe it.
I believe that 100%.
I don't think
100%. You think the NHL, after what happened with John Scott, is going to let fans pick what they want to see again? No. The NHL knows better than that. The NHL has lost the internet before. They're not ready to lose the internet again.
As soon as they said they're doing like the whole Twitter vote thing, it became fishy to me because how do you count that? Like, you getting Twitter on board with this? Like, how does that
They
work?
would probably use
You
like
have
bots or something.
you have like analysts and stuff like that.
No, it wasn't real. It was just there
There
look
are
at the
people
picture
who-
next to the hashtag and just make it.
I want to make
People
clear
think.
there are people out there who can like probably gather all that data accurately. I am
Yeah,
not.
with, like,
Probably, but
programs
the
and
NHL
stuff.
is not smart enough to do that.
No.
No, they are, but they wouldn't do it.
No.
No.
Because realistically,
It was right.
I'm on Leafs Twitter. People were not really voting for Austin to make it. Like, it just wasn't. Leafs fans were okay with him not. Because he can get a weekend off. You can send Nylander. No, Austin goes.
Yeah.
According to the NHL, William Nylander did not get a single vote.
Well, that's bull. But at the end of the day, what supports your idea is the exact idea of why Jack Hughes is an all-star and Jesper Bratt isn't. The NHL is going to prioritize their Canadian and American-born players to get in the All-Star game.
Yeah.
True.
I mean,
it's just easier for the NHL to do that. I think they're easier. They're bigger personalities. Most of the time, not always. It's not a given rule.
At the end of the day, what it comes down to is the NHL, they see what marketing is. Fans in America Canada are more likely to go for the guy who's American or the guy who's Canadian, respectively.
Yeah, the All-Star game becomes a lot more tolerable if you're just like, oh, this is just a big-ass commercial for the city that's hosting.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah. No, that's all it is. And quite frankly, the NHL All-Star game, of all the All-Star games, in my opinion, is the worst one. Because it's so very obviously just a marketing.
No, who watches the game? Honestly, like, who here has ever sat down and watched an NHL All-Star game?
I try to.
I watched the one in 2016, but that was because of the drama. That was interesting.
Drama.
The John Scott was the best thing to ever happen to the NHL All-Star game.
That was the only good NHL All-Star game in the past 15 years.
Yeah.
Nice.
Or the one that all the media members like complained about with the one in Columbus, where they set off the cannon for every goal. And it was like 15-12 or something like that.
Oh, man.
And they set
the
it
highest
off
scoring
every
All-Star
time.
game in NHL history happened in Columbus. That says everything you need to know about the NHL All-Star game.
Pretty much.
You know what? If the NHL just kind of plays into the whole, it's just a big advertisement, I think it'd be a lot more enjoyable. Like if you just went, we're just ditching the idea of an All-Star game altogether. We're having like a fan fest or something
That's
like that.
fine. Don't call it an All-Star game though, and pretend that it's based on players' accolades. When you bring in a player from each team, and at the end of the day, sometimes that player isn't even the most deserving on their team.
At some point, I want to put together a piece of just the worst players to get named to the All-Star game of this format, because there's been some real doozies of just like. And John Scott doesn't make that list. Only the players that got in because they had to.
No, we're talking current format. The current format exists because John Scott happened.
Yeah, the Leo Komarovs of the All-Star game. Of just, why are you here? Kind of. Like, who?
Leo Komarov deserved to be an All-Star.
Is it Kevin Hayes this year that's like, you shouldn't be in the All-Star game?
Kevin Hayes, who was announced, like the day he was announced to be an All-Star, was a healthy scratch?
Yeah.
Let's go Flyers.
We all know John Tortorella's beef with the All-Star game.
John Tortorella's got a beef with a lot of things right now.
Find me something that John Tortorella actually enjoys wholeheartedly.
Why is he coaching? He's obviously miserable doing it. He loves the All-Star game, though.
He does love benching people.
Yeah. Hates iPads. His kids aren't allowed electronics.
That's true. He hates people being happy.
Including me. John Tortorella is personally against my happiness.
Was Jesper Bratt snubbed of an All-Star vote?
Yes. Come on.
But was he the only one snubbed? No.
Not
even close.
You know who was snubbed? Keandre Miller.
Which is surprising because if you listen to the fan vote, that was someone who was getting a lot of votes.
I know, because I voted a lot for him.
Okay,
and
well, that's
I
enough
saw
out of you.
A lot of people.
You also voted for Tony D'Angelo, so I don't know if we should count your vote.
Didn't happen.
No, I don't try to pay attention to the All-Star game rosters at all.
No, yeah, it doesn't matter.
Then again, we're not even done looking at the rosters because how many players are going to opt out?
So many players are going to opt out. So many players are going to get ruled out due to injury. Troy Terry's already not playing. No, not Troy Terry.
Are we excited for Alex Ovechkin's annual 1-game suspension? Because it's a game suspension if you don't go. And Alex
Ovechkin God! I forgot he does that. I forgot he does that every single season.
When was the last time he did that? Because he has gone.
You know
what?
What? I lied.
Yes.
I lied. The best thing that happened, the second best thing that happened at an All-Star game after the John Scott thing was when they were still doing the draft, which was a lot of fun. The draft was fun to watch. That was the
I need a car bit from Ovechkin.
I need a car.
I need a car so bad. And they let him go.
I quote that all the time.
The third to last pick third to last pick,
Third one.
and then the last 2 picks were given cars.
Yep.
We need to bring that format back. It's just so
But
fun.
it was for a good cause because
Yeah.
after it was
Alex
explained,
Ovechkin needed a car. That was the cause.
Needed a
And it just
car.
didn't work.
he needed a car
They
because
were
he
like,
was
"Ovi,
looking
buy
to
a
give it to
car."
charity. And so after there was some communication between Ovechkin and the NHL, there was a donation.
It worked
was made
out.
Of a car.
It worked out.
They
Yeah.
made it work. They made it work.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's some players are really good about they'll fake an injury in the few days up to it. No, they need the week. Like Matthews did that.
Or,
Like
like,
he went but
family-
didn't dress.
Family
Yeah.
things. Yeah.
Alex Ovechkin doesn't do that. He just tells the NHL he's not going to go.
Yeah, I'm just
it
not
takes a
gonna go.
suspension every year.
Yeah. I mean,
No problem,
I
man.
respect the hell out of it.
It's great. I think more players. What would they do if the players got together and every one of them did that?
No, you're
The NHL would you're not playing.
no,
ever
it's not.
again.
You're talking about a very unrealistic situation because there's only one Alex Ovechkin and there's only one player who is going to have the balls to, quite frankly, go out there and say,
Flip off
"I'm
Gary
not
Bettman.
doing this. I'm just gonna go elsewhere. Give me my one game. Bye." That's
because
I'll just
at
have a good
least
weekend on my
Matthews,
own.
like-
That's all.
Matthews got hurt. I think he just was like, I think my wrist needs a few days to take a break. But he still went and participated. Like, he didn't play or anything, but he went and he was part of the media stuff. Alex Ovechkin, he
Ovechkin
goes to
took that-
Florida.
Ovechkin took that bath in that fountain, man, and he just like he stopped giving.
Stopped caring.
He stopped caring about all of just
Yeah.
anything to do with like whatever. He
The
got his
day
cup
he's-
and dipped. He's checked
Is
out.
he going to break Gretzky's record? Play
Yes.
like a few more
Yeah,
months.
you will.
See, can I get 1,000 goals? Make that decision, and when he makes that decision, retire that day. He's like, I don't
Russian machine
do it,
never
and go
break.
home.
Russian machine,
Russian
never
machine
break.
never break.
Yep.
So,
Trade deadline coming
Yes,
up.
with the All-Star game coming up, that of course means the trade deadline is looming. So my question for you guys so far, what is your favorite rumor? Who is a player that you guys think will most definitely be moved by the deadline?
My favorite rumor is that every player ever is going to the Toronto Maple Leafs
The Leafs aren't doing a lot this deadline.
because, as we all know, the NHL
The world
revolves
revolves
around.
around.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
clearly
I regret
everyone
asking that
ever
question.
is going to the Leafs.
I don't. Me and Zach discussed this before we recorded. I'm really excited for Jonathan Toews just because I think someone's going to overpay for him ridiculously.
I keep hearing like Winnipeg this, everyone that, who cares?
The only reason Winnipeg's really on it is because he's from Winnipeg.
Yeah.
And he's a nice depth guy to add to that. Dallas might get him to avoid him going to Winnipeg. And Dallas could use another depth forward.
Sure.
And Zach's gearing up. I can just tell by his eyes that he's ready to call me stupid for this take again.
No, it's not even that. My whole thing is, I'm not. Is Jonathan Toews enough of a difference maker for that to get Dallas over the hump? Because remember, in 2019, the Dallas Stars went on a very deep playoff run. They made it all the way to the Western Conference Finals, and it fell apart. They ran into
and then they made the Stanley Cup final. They made the 2020 final.
They made the 2020 final. Excuse me. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. I'm getting 2019
And
and
then just got
2020 mixed up.
curb stomped
Because in
by
20,
Tampa.
yeah, because in 2019, that was when they actually met up with St. Louis in, was it the semis, and then St. Louis beat them?
It's been a while. I wasn't really following Dallas closely at the time. It's been a long time.
It has. I know they lost to St. Louis in 2019, and then in 2020, you're right, they did make the finals, and they got 100. They ran out of gas.
They got yeah, no. It was also weird. It was a weird one to make it in. That was Bubble Cup.
Is Jonathan Toews even capable of providing anything close to what Corey Perry provided for the Dallas Stars that season?
No.
No.
Is
There
Jonathan
are still people with the Stars that are sad he's gone now. Because
Corey Perry was a very key. Yeah, letting Corey Perry walk was a mistake.
I wouldn't call it a mistake, but it's something that they wish they could still have him. But I don't.
It was a mistake. I'm confident in saying that because you're now in a position where you, Trevor, a sort of Dallas Stars fan, are clamoring for the hopeful addition of Jonathan Toews, who you and I both know is going to cost a pretty penny. When
I'm not saying I necessarily like. Need
granted,
Jonathan
they are
Toews
two
on the
very
Stars.
different players.
Yes. I think what Corey Perry added to Dallas is kind of been replaced a little bit. Not to the level of Corey Perry, but like Ty Dellandrea is a young, feisty kind of player that kind of fills that hole a little bit. And Ty's a whole lot of fun to watch. Could the Stars benefit from having a guy like Corey Perry right now? Yeah. I don't know. But other than Toews, who do the Stars go out and get? Because they're not in the hunt for Meyer because there's just I don't think they have a need for Timo Meyer. I don't think he fits.
No, the top 6 in Dallas is pretty much set.
Yeah, are there any defensemen available? Not first pairing, but second, third pairing guys. Anybody?
There are a few guys on expiring deals. Damon Severson's on an expiring contract, but I don't expect him to be moved unless the right deal comes along.
Yeah,
but even if Dallas goes out and get a defenseman, they're already fighting between Joel Handley and Niels Lundqvist. They go back and forth into the lineup. Just because Niels is offensively gifted, just still learning how to translate defensive play to the NHL. Right. So they kind of in and out, just let him learn. It's kind of weird to inject another guy into that now because then Niels doesn't play. And you spent, a first-round pick in New York to get Niels Lundqvist, I think? Is it a first or a second? Something. Natasha, do you know? It's been a while since that trade happened.
I don't remember.
You don't want to spend that money on a guy.
It was a pick of some sort.
It's either first or second.
Yeah.
Lundqvist was traded to the Dallas Stars in exchange for a conditional 2023 first-round pick and a conditional 2025 fourth-round pick.
Yeah, so that's a steep price to play for a guy that you're not going to take out of your lineup.
Yeah,
because I really think he's the guy that comes out if they get another defenseman. Stars don't need a backup goalie. Wedgwood's plenty good enough to get him down the stretch and give Otter the rest he needs. Damn it, Jonathan Toews is going to Winnipeg, isn't it?
Honestly,
and they're going to pay too much, but he's going to go. He's going to be a Jet.
I mean, that's
this childhood team, kind of. Let him go home.
I mean,
or let him rot in Chicago. That's also a viable option.
That's what I'm voting for.
Let him. Can I swear? Let him swim in his own shit.
Yeah, no. Let the captain go down with the ship. Let him rot in Chicago. Let Kane rot in Chicago. Let Kane rot in Chicago too. My whole thing is, what do you get from adding Toews to your locker room? Because his skill is. He's still a very talented player. He's got, I think, 27 points in 44 games, 13 goals, 14 assists. He has lost a step, and that's being nice.
Over a playoff run's rough.
Yeah.
He might struggle.
What I see is an aging player who is a shell of himself. And on top of that, not someone who, early in his career, 10 years ago, if you were starting an NHL team,
paying top dollar to get Jonathan Toews 10 years ago.
You're paying top dollar. I know many people who would have taken Jonathan Toews over Sidney Crosby in
those
2014.
That was not a good take, but I could see why
it did not age well. It did not age well, but in the midst of that dynasty run they were
in the flurry of what was happening, it
made sense. It wasn't as easy to poke holes in that argument as it is right now.
Especially because at the time, the Penguins had gone through several playoff
runs. And now Crosby's got Crosby can match Toews' rings, so the leadership thing that over Crosby is completely gone.
And Crosby's aging is just Sidney Crosby's playing just as good as he did 5 years ago.
100%.
He's aging like fine wine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He probably stays. He stays or goes to Winnipeg.
I think he'll stay.
Unless Chicago really takes a retains a lot of that salary, I don't see him moving. He's not worth it. He's not going to provide enough oomph to justify what he will cost and how much you'll have to pay him.
And if he isn't worth moving because of the cost, Patrick Kane's not moving either.
No.
Patrick Kane's a shell of what he used to be.
Patrick Kane is more likely to move than Jonathan Toews, though.
Yeah, I don't think either. I don't think.
I think I feel like there's a higher demand for Patrick Kane
in the offseason. I don't think he's, like you said, he's not a deadline guy.
Patrick Kane's not a deadline move, but Patrick Kane is someone I can see. I think it's more likely that Patrick Kane will get moved in the offseason than Jonathan Taves at the deadline.
Yeah, I can see that.
But
do you have any other guys? Where do we think Timo Meyer's going? After all
I
this,
sure
because he's
I
definitely
sure
going
hope
to
not the Devils. I sure hope not the
go to New
Devils.
Jersey.
No. Much like the Dallas Stars, the Devils just need to stand pat. You know what the Devils need to do at the deadline? Sign Jesper Bratt.
I actually wake up and I say that every day, is that the Devils need to re-sign Jesper Bratt. I pray every morning that he signs. And every day I'm a little disappointed.
I'm still waiting on a Pasternak signing. Will we ever get one?
That's also supposedly coming soon. And didn't that something almost leaked for that one today, if I'm not mistaken, right?
No.
I haven't heard about Pasternak. It was Matthews that some info came out.
That was another Elliot Friedman
delete tweet.
Yeah.
Because it came out today or yesterday that Matthews camp wants 15 minimum.
15 that might be 50 total.
15.
Good.
Okay.
Good. It's
apparently
about time that we have NHL players start demanding large sums of money. Guys, I'm serious.
Zach, this is how the conversation with Austin Matthews and the Leafs should go, okay? I'm Austin Matthews, you're Kyle Dubas. Hi, Kyle. I want $19 million next season. And you say, okay, Austin, let me see who I have to trade to make that work.
Austin Matthews needs to go in to his current contract negotiation the same way that PK Subban did with Montreal. PK Subban, for those who don't remember, took a bridge deal before he signed that massive 9-year deal that he wrote out until the end of his career. That bridge deal was extremely team friendly, and the cost of that bridge deal, PK Subban and his agent let them know the cost was $9 million. So that when the time came around, what did PK get?
9 million.
What did he? So
there's a few players coming up that are about to change the way NHL players are paid.
Yes, and Connor McDavid had a chance to do that. Connor McDavid had the chance to do that.
Set the league back. Every player in the NHL, every superstar, like franchise player, should call Connor McDavid on a weekly basis to tell him to fuck off.
Yeah,
like
Connor McDavid personally cost Nathan McKinnon at least $10 million.
Oh, easily. Like, how much money did he cost Austin? How much money did he cost Mitch? How much money is he going to cost Pasternak?
And
it's a lot.
And Timo Meyer's going to break the scale? Really?
Timo Meyer's going to make a lot of money.
Timo Meyer's going to make a lot of money, but you can't tell me that's
No, he's not a $10 million player.
No, that's an $8 million player, which is a good thing. It's very good to be an $8 million player. It's hard to be an $8 million player. Don't get me wrong. But no, he's not someone who's going to break the pay scale.
He's going to show positive improvement for it, though.
And I'm not even sure.
I think Pasternak might, though.
Pasternak will.
He will.
Pasternak's going to make stupid money.
Yeah.
See, because you know when he goes,
gets $10 million.
Yes, you want to know why? Because he goes, Mitch makes 10.9, and I'm better than Mitch.
He is.
Whether I think that's up for argument. What I think you could either of those answers is correct in my eyes. That those are two players very close to each other. But he says he's better than Mitch because he scores more, and he goes, I want more.
He is.
And also, the cap's gone up.
He is a more productive player than Mitch Marner. Mitch Marner is a very productive player. Pasta's one of the best. So he has that argument.
As much as I hate to say that, David Pasternak's a special player.
How much is Artemi Panarin?
Oh, absolutely.
11. I can almost for certain say it's
Pasternak should be aiming to get more money than Artemi Panarin.
Is Pasternak going to make more than McDavid?
No.
You think he comes in between 11 and 12 points? Because McDavid's 12 and a half, right?
McDavid's 12 and a half.
McKinnon's like 13.
No, he's not.
McKinnon's above McDavid.
Oh, I said Panarin. I'm sorry. I thought I heard Panarin.
I think Panarin's at like 10 now.
Panarin's at like 10.8 or something like that.
Okay. Yeah, I thought it was 11. Yeah, so you think he comes in between 11 and 12.5?
I could see 11 and a quarter.
I could
and
see
11
about
or
11. Like 11.
Is it in
11.5.
Boston? You think
Yeah.
he just stays in Boston? You think he stays in Boston?
Yeah,
Because
of
at one
course.
point he didn't want to. I know that was a big story at one point. He did not want to sign with the GM. He does not like him.
He did not.
I don't know if that story's kind of died down.
He did not
at
like
all.
Cam Newton.
That's fair.
But
A lot
I
of
guess
people
that
don't.
might be over. Who knows? Honestly, I don't think that'll sway him too much.
Now, this is a theoretical question. Let's say David Pastrnak goes to the open market. He won't, but let's say he does. How much does he make there?
If he goes to the open market, he'll get $16 million.
60. Holy shit.
We haven't had a
I mean,
player
he is
like
worth
Dave,
that much.
We haven't had a player like David Pastrnak hit the open market.
No.
We have never seen a free agent as talented as David Pastrnak. Not even Jonathan Tavares. Not even Jonathan Tavares.
No, John Tavares is nowhere near when the hit open market. Nowhere near what
that's what we're talking about. The quality of player when you are on the open market.
It's not close. As much as I love Tavares, two different players.
Two
different skill sets. How much they bring is so much different in just pure skill. I would kill to have David Pastrnak over John Tavares. And I love John, but no.
And
that would be crazy.
And although that being said, Pastrnak has a very tiny window. If he hits the open market, he can't demand that price tag for very long. I cite Taylor Hall, who shortly after his MVP season was capable of demanding everything Panarin got and then some.
You could
to
a more
signing a 1-year prove-it deal in Buffalo for $8 million.
Nazem Kadri
to signing for $6 million in Boston and being locked in their bottom six.
Yeah. You got to
Can we talk about that
quickly
for a minute? Taylor Hall is a bottom six player on the Boston Bruins.
It's crazy.
Like, that's wild.
It's crazy.
Taylor Hall is only good for like a week.
No. Calm down here. Taylor Hall is the bottom six of Boston because it's Boston.
But Boston is so good.
Who does he take out of the top six?
He can't replace Pavel Zacha, who is producing at the same rate as him, but in a more meaningful manner.
Yeah.
Pavel Zacha is a top six forward, and Taylor Hall is a bottom six forward on the Boston Bruins.
Just Boston's. I don't know if I want to go on that tangent of just Boston is just cheap.
No, it's clear
I don't know how to describe them.
They're above and beyond every other team that's in the league.
Remember the Lightning a few years ago, the 62-win season, who got swept by Columbus. This Boston team destroys that Tampa team in just pure skill. It's not easy. This is the best assembled NHL team of the salary cap era, and it's not close. And they're going to go do something. Watch them get Timo Meier or something stupid at the deadline.
That would be.
They're going to try.
Who do you give up?
Because they don't. I think I heard that they don't want to give up anything on the roster.
Then
they're not getting Timo
Meier. Then there's no way.
San Jose. What does San Jose even want for Meier though?
Whatever they can get, I think.
Do they want if you're the GM there? Do you want roster guys or you just want picks?
No, you want prospects. You want picks. You don't want
You don't need anything right now.
Yeah. No, if you're trading a guy like Timo Meier, that means you are going into rebuilding mode. If Timo Meier is not one of your building blocks, you are going into rebuilding mode.
If Timo Meier gets dealt, does Erik Karlsson follow suit?
He should.
In the offseason?
Erik Karlsson should have already been traded.
As soon as he's on pace for over 100 points still.
Erik Karlsson should have already been traded and should also win the Norris Trophy.
Yeah. I don't know who trades for that. I think it's a really risky trade. But if you're going on a run and someone's like, hey, you can have Erik Karlsson your second pair. Oh yeah. Send every draft pick if you can make the money work.
I don't know about that. Because it's like you said, Erik Karlsson's a big risk. This is his first year. He's looked like Erik Karlsson since he's been in San Jose.
I did see an interview with him the other night. That was really interesting. He went back to Sweden for the first time in like 5 years. And he said just that changed him. He said he was in a bad place mentally. So he went back home for a bit, spent some time with family, and came back. And he said his entire life's changed. He's got reasons to bet. Like, to me, that's a reason why he's.
100%. That's a reason. So he's clearly found the fountain of youth, and it's in.
He found it's somewhere in Sweden.
He knows where it is. He won't tell me.
Yeah, I would.
So we're fighting Erik Karlsson.
Yeah, let's go on a trip through Sweden. Just start walking.
We're gonna go on a trip through Sweden to fight Erik Karlsson to get Jesper Bratt into the All-Star game.
Yes, I'm in. Let's book our tickets.
Because that's logic right there.
Let's all go to Sunrise, Florida.
No. I'm not going to Florida. I live in Texas. I can't deal with Texas with more gators.
That's exactly what Florida is, honestly.
It's Texas with more gators and less cowboy hats, but not zero cowboy hats though. There's some.
But no, the amount of cowboy hats in Florida is not zero. That I can confirm. Whether or not it's larger than like 100, but yeah, no, I saw cowboy hats when I was in Tampa for sure.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. They're just swamp Texans is what Florida is. This is a good tangent we just went on. It's a real good one.
Texans.
Swamp Texans.
Okay then. We mentioned it earlier. Cole Caulfield is done for the season. Juraj Slafkovsky. The Habs are struggling right now. Slafkovsky is out for 3 months. And it looks like they're really going for Bedard.
Connor Bedard just downloaded Duolingo.
The tankathon
was what happened. He's learning to speak French as we speak.
No, he's not.
You don't think he's like, oh shit, I'm going to Montreal.
No, he doesn't have to speak French. The captain doesn't speak French. Why would he have to?
Oh, I forgot they don't do that as much anymore. 5 years ago,
French lessons.
They traded away the American who became straight up fluent in French for them.
Bonjour.
Apparently, there's a bunch of Canadian players who started taking classes together. Like, there's a group of them that are taking French classes together.
That's adorable. It's like exercise.
I think Martin St. Louis put them up to it.
It should be like an elective thing, like once a week on the weekends, like after practice.
Long plane rides. Martin St. Louis like bonjour, and everyone goes hello.
That becomes less of a fun team bonding activity when it's implemented by the coaches. That's if a bunch of guys get together and say, "Hey, let's go do this."
From what I heard, Martin St. Louis in on it, but it was the players' idea.
Okay.
Everyone's very happy with this arrangement.
Good. That's something that needs to come from the players because if. Can you imagine if Mike Babcock were the coach of the Montreal Canadiens right now?
He wouldn't allow them to speak French.
No. He would. That's the punishment. That's the punishment for any player he doesn't like. Now you have to go learn French.
Mike Babcock, not French Canadian. You have to learn it in the dialect of French.
It's just French.
So it doesn't even help you.
No, it's Mike Babcock. So
give
me the worst possible, most useless form of French that you could possibly learn, and that's what Mike Babcock would have you learn.
Yeah,
French
the most useless dialect with the least amount of crossover.
Yeah, that
also, speaking of injuries, Josh Norris is done for the year.
Oh God,
because he re-injured his shoulder.
Hey,
poor guy.
Hey, stop. How old is Josh Norris? Early. He's younger than 25.
Too young to be re-injuring his shoulder.
He's only 23.
Yeah, Ottawa. What the hell is Ottawa doing?
Yeah.
Well, apparently they rushed him back.
Yeah, because he was supposed to be out for the year.
He was on IR.
The year is still going, guys. The year's got a while to go.
We need help. And Josh
was
like,
"Why do you need help? I'm sorry.
And
why are you trying to go get
Claude
help?
Giroux.
You suck."
And Brady Tkachuk and Tim Stützle.
Timmy Stutz.
When do we start begging for Brady Tkachuk to be free? Is it too early for that? They just got Alex DeBrincat last year. Is it too early for me to ask them to free Brady Tkachuk?
I was so high on them in the offseason. I really thought they were going to sneak into the playoffs and take Boston's spot, and boy, was I wrong.
Remember that time the Ottawa Senators didn't give the San Jose Sharks the 4th overall pick at risk of giving them the 1st overall pick the next year so they could take Brady Tkachuk?
What?
I thought that was a really good move. I fucking love Brady
What?
Kachuk.
Brady's a
Brady
good
Kachuk
guy.
is one of the
He's
underrated
one of the
player in
guys.
NHL.
He is one of one. You know what? I'm seeing a lot of people on Devil's Twitter willing to give up everything for Timo Meier, which I really don't get.
No, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I would give all those things up for Brady.
Nemec goes as soon as if Brady Kachuk's name comes up, so does Nemec.
Oh, 100%.
Oh,
That,
yeah.
Nemec plus. Man.
You see, the issue is, okay, so on one of the offers I came across on Twitter, in the Timo Meier to the Devils just tirade that's happening at this particular moment, someone suggested Holtz, Nemec, and a first for Meier, which is just way too much. Nemec for Meier by itself is too much.
For people unfamiliar with the Devils, who is Holtz?
Like, Alexander Holtz was the seventh overall pick in the 2020 NHL draft.
Oh, so we're still excited for him. This kind of guy.
Yeah, we're still excited for him. He is on the roster. He's a Swedish winger with a big, big shot.
William Nylander, that's what you're describing to me, baby. I'm all about it.
He's the skill is there. He's just not. It just hasn't come together just yet. But you can see him. Exactly. He's still young, and he got drafted during the pandemic year. It's hard to judge right now. There's still a lot of hope.
Are you trading Jesper Bratt today to get Brady Kachuk?
No.
Nemec and Bratt?
No, absolutely not.
What about
no?
Nemec.
Now, if you want to talk to me about Nemec, Holtz, and I'm not willing to do a first, maybe a second, because Nemec and Holtz
with a condition. With a condition on the first.
Maybe a condition on the first. That for Brady Kachuk or Matt Kachuk? Yes.
No, not Matt. I don't do it for Matt. I do it for Brady.
Well, Brady is a more valuable player than Matt. I'm glad you caught that. But
Brady, those are two. Brady's
I'm more
far
likely
above Matt.
The haul that is being asked for in that trade should net you a $12 million player, such as Brady Kachuk, such as Matt Kachuk. Timo Meier is not nearly enough to give up that level of prospect.
I'm going to throw something better at you. We have not seen Brady Kachuk in the playoffs yet, and he just screams nightmare in a 7-game series.
We haven't seen Brady Kachuk enter his prime yet. Brady Kachuk is just now turning like 22, 23 years old. He is a child. He is a gigantic child. He is going to destroy this league.
The NHL. Like, third generation. Yeah. We're all dying to see Brady Kachuk in a 7-game series against the Leafs, right?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
We're all the Leafs are going to die.
I want that to work out so well. There's nothing I would be more excited. Well, aside from there are a few things I would be more excited to see, but I would be very excited to watch Toronto play Ottawa. I want to.
He has to do Battle of Ontario.
I would love to see the Battle of Ontario turn it up. Because of these geographical rivalries, Battle of Alberta, Battle of Ontario, Hudson River rivalry, I'm all about it. Get the actual locals pitted against each other. And
Pittsburgh, Philly. Do you remember that war they went to in like 2012?
They still are at war. They're still at war over 2012. You go to a Flyers Penguins game in Philadelphia. I promise you, there's Sidney Crosby in the urinal. I promise you. They have a picture of Sidney Crosby in all or most urinals.
To all the people who maybe listen to this that haven't watched hockey before, if you want to enjoy hockey, watch one game from that series.
Yeah.
Just one game from the 2012 series where neither goalie could stop a beach ball and everyone was trying to give each other a concussion.
Yep.
Half the players in that series are going to have CTE.
And Peter Laviolette tried to say, oh, well, when the best player in hockey says he's going to guard Sidney Crosby. About Claude Giroux.
It was a great time to be a Pittsburgh
goal
fan.
crushing.
Do you know what happened after that series?
It destroyed people.
The Flyers advanced. First of all, the Flyers advanced to the second round. But that was the 2012 playoff run.
Wow.
Well,
Ilya Brizgalov made a really bad decision the next round against David Clarkson. And that goal that David Clarkson scored got him paid.
The 2012 playoffs were simply magical.
That was a
was a good.
Never
time
again will you see an 8 seed take on a 6 seed in the Stanley Cup final.
No. That was Kings Devils, right? 2012.
Yeah, the Kings were the last team in the Western Conference side. They went all the way as the 8 seed.
Came back from a 3-1 series deficit or 3-0 series deficit.
No, that was in 2014. That was in 2014.
My bad.
This was the year. This was the year they took out Vancouver when Corey Schneider made his first playoff appearance for them. Then after that, they took out. I don't remember who was in the semifinals they took out, but in the Western Conference Finals, they played the Arizona Coyotes.
Oh, the
Mike Smith's Arizona Coyotes. Yes.
Yeah, the year that everyone, oh my God, Arizona might be an NHL city. It was that year, right?
It was that year. Shane somehow, some way, none of it made sense. This team had no business getting there, but they got there.
And it looked like the best arena in the league. At every home playoff game, it looked so fun.
And then they just got utterly destroyed by LA. But LA was a wrecking ball that year.
It's fine. They made money. They blew it almost immediately, paying back debt or something. It's Arizona.
They blew it the night they made it, Trevor.
Yeah.
The night they made it, they blew it because they had
There was
to pay
actually a loan
debtors.
shark that walked into the president's office after the game and was like, "I'll take that check," and left.
One of the creditors was just surfing the TV that night and saw that there was a Coyotes playoff game and how packed it was. Said, "Huh," and then drove down.
Yeah.
That team is still not recovered from the same financial struggles that they're in, and that's just amazing. That being said, while we're talking about them, what do you think of those third jerseys they debuted last night?
One of the best jerseys
I love
that
them.
have come out in a long time.
Very snappy.
You know what it reminds me of? Like, you know how the NBA does this really well, where there's like, here's these one-off jerseys. They have tons of them that the NBA does really, really well. The NHL needs to be okay with teams just going, we're going to have a jersey, we're going to wear it like 3 or 4 times, it's gone. Because whenever teams do it, it's gorgeous.
The thing is, for the NBA, the way that works is the NBA does Christmas games, so they have special Christmas jerseys. That's the one-off jersey that kind of happens every year for the NBA, but they also do like
the City Connect jerseys and is that an NBA?
Yeah.
They do special ones for the city, for the various cities. There's more than one alternate jersey if a team wants to make.
There's tons of jerseys.
Exactly.
There's tons of different looks, and they're so open to experimenting.
For a while, you had teams that the NHL does special warm-up jerseys. The NBA was doing straight up St. Patrick's Day jerseys. Teams were just switching, wearing green that had no business wearing green in games for St. Patrick's.
It's fun.
It is.
It was like, as a fan, I'm like, I'll buy that jersey. I don't care. If they look, if you make them well, they're gorgeous.
The most fun jerseys you can find are the special edition AHL jerseys
because they get the Star Wars night kind of thing.
They get way too creative.
Not as good as the ECHL, because they'll just do here's
no, the ECHL doesn't care.
Yeah.
The ECHL does not care. They will dress their players up in highlighters if they want to. They just don't care.
It's great. But the Coyotes Desert Night jersey is the A as cactuses is just phenomenal.
So good. The whole setup in general.
And the goalies,
the goalies keeping it like that. Oh.
Chef's kiss.
It's I thought one of the best jerseys to come out recently was the Leafs black jersey, because I thought that's creative, it's new, it's different.
It's pretty cool.
This Coyotes jersey blew it out of the water.
This Coyotes jersey makes it almost worth it for the fact that they moved to Arizona State so they could use Arizona State's colors.
I think it does make it worth it.
Yeah, it's worth it.
Totally worth it. Having the best third jersey in the league makes it absolutely worth it to only have 5,000 fans.
Are we admitting that Gary Bettman was right?
No.
Absolutely
never.
Not.
I will never.
Why would we do that? What are you talking about?
Are the Coyotes going to make more money off this jersey than they will ticket sales this season?
No, because they're selling the tickets for $500 a pop.
Oh, they're not too bad. They're only $100.
Oh, they're not that bad.
About $100. Okay, they're only $100, $200.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. Excuse me.
For the top of the lower bowl, since there only is one bowl.
Hey, man. Yeah. Hey, man. I want that. They had to find a place to play games, and
Someone's backyard
in
will
a
work.
league where a team had to move into a college stadium that doesn't even seat 10,000 people because they got into such bad relations with the city they played in a league where that team exists, the Vancouver Canucks are still the most dysfunctional franchise, and it's not even close.
The Canucks should get an award at the end, like at the NHL awards show. They should just be like, "There's a surprise award
Here's
this
a Canucks award.
Worst
Canucks
team,
award.
the Jim Rutherford Award. It's the
The Jim
worst run
Rutherford
team in the
Award.
league."
No. Let's be nicer about this. This award is for the team that is closest to the city of Vancouver, Canada. I'm not announcing who's going to win. I'm not announcing who's going to win.
But they may wear blue. They might.
They might wear blue.
Maybe it's the Leafs. We don't know.
Who knows?
But they definitely play in Canada.
It's definitely not the Leafs. It might be the Winnipeg Jets. It might be the Vancouver Canucks. I haven't decided yet.
We don't know yet. Maybe Seattle. Seattle's pretty close to Vancouver.
Seattle is pretty close to Vancouver.
Yeah, like a day trip. Makes it easy.
Could be Edmonton. Could be.
Yeah.
Geographically.
Oh my God.
Not too far off.
Oh.
Linus Ullmark is the second fastest goalie to 25 games in the history of the NHL. What a legend.
You know, I just heard, hey, Boston's winning more games than we thought they were before.
Boston is winning.
They're unstoppable.
It's a good time
to be the Monstars.
Did anyone see this coming from Ullmark, though?
No.
Like, this is a guy who was projected to be a backup, if I'm not mistaken.
Isn't Swayman almost as good? Like, they're fucking...
Yeah, they're pretty much equal, honestly. But Ullmark gets played more.
That doesn't sound correct.
He gets started more.
Well, I mean, Ullmark's clearly their guy.
He's their guy.
But
the play is still reliable.
Okay. Boston is sitting there with Swayman and Ullmark, and they're like, yeah, we got a good goaltending tandem. I haven't heard it's not being rubbed in or anything like that. And then you get the joke of a franchise like Toronto being like, oh, we're rocking Murray Samsonov. We're just fine. We can compete with that. No.
Oh, yeah.
You could Tanya Harding lead us Ullmark's kneecap before the series, and they still have a better goalie than you.
True.
Boston's backup goalie is better than most of the league starters. Take out Boston's first line. They're still better than you.
Take the whole fourth line of Boston, and they're still better than
I'll double down. Take the Providence Bruins. They're beating the Leafs in a 7-game series.
Yeah.
Bold. Even I think that's a bold claim. But we're talking up the Bruins goalies.
This is the 2023 Boston Bruins.
And I hate it.
Which team's goalie situation do you think right now is currently the worst?
Habs.
There's no fixing
Habs.
it.
Habs
this year.
Chicago.
Chicago or Habs. It can't be either. No, but the thing about the Habs is that Montembeault is okay, I guess. Jake Allen can't save a puck for the life of him. Honestly, he can't. Every game I watch with Jake Allen, I feel miserable.
Natasha, I'm going to combat that with Peter Mrazek gave up 6 goals on 7 shots.
Yeah, but also what's the other guy's name?
Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago needs some.
We talked about it last week.
Yeah.
Not
Zach
exactly gave a better answer.
Gustav Forsling?
Yeah, maybe. I think that's it. I got it. I'll find it.
Don't ask.
No, that's Gustav Forsling is Ottawa. No, he's Florida. I don't know what I'm doing. And he's not even. I don't even know what's wrong with me. That's not even a goalie. I've broken.
Anaheim, I guess.
Oh, they've had 5 goalies already, guys, in Chicago.
No,
why have I not heard this once?
No, I've heard about Chicago.
Okay, Peter Mrazek.
I think I can do this. I think without looking, I can give you
Zach.
maybe...
I do not know how 3 of these people are.
All right, I can do 3. Okay.
This is a fun bit. Natasha, help him out here. Let's see if you can name.
I know one of them is
Okay.
Oh, I'm sure one of them. I know one of them was Finnish. So his name could be pronounced any way possible because Finnish is absolutely the hardest language to read and pronunciate.
Swedish.
So
I'm not seeing a Finnish goalie.
Okay, obvious first answer, Peter Mrazek.
Yeah,
right.
Natasha, lean forward. You're just a brick wall. She's disappeared.
He's sweet. One of them is Swedish. Yeah, you were kind of close. Sort of.
I know exactly who he's talking about.
Anton Forsberg.
No.
Is that even a goalie again? I don't know.
Yes, that is a goalie.
Yeah,
I know there's a goalie. That's all
I know there's a goalie in Chicago or who was in Chicago who has like the first 4 letters of a last name.
I didn't even know like.
Is he still there or is he gone?
I didn't even need 2. I didn't even know 2 of these until just now. So, we're learning things today.
We're learning things today. I was a lot more confident about this going in. I know, like.
Okay.
Malcolm Subban's not still there.
No. Okay, so the other guy that I think you're gonna get played for San Jose last year, and before that spent a few years in Minnesota.
Aaron Dell.
No.
San Jose last year.
Weirder. And Minnesota before that, and then San Jose again before then.
Weirder than Aaron Dell.
Yeah.
Well, Martin Jones is in Seattle.
Nope. Yep, not Martin Jones. It's an A name. First name.
He's not going to get it.
I don't think he's going to get it, man. Alex Stalock.
Yeah, I wouldn't have gotten that.
Yeah.
Alex Stalock, Flyers legend Alex Stalock, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Would you like me to read the other goalies, Zach?
No, I'm thinking Anthony Stolarz, Flyers legend.
Yeah. So we got Arvid Soderbaum, who's played 15 games.
Oh, honey.
Jackson Stauber, spelled Jaxson.
I think it's Stauber.
Stauber.
Yeah, he's like a child. He's like 19.
He's 23 from Wayzata, Minnesota. Good for him. And
he's a rookie.
Dylan Wells.
Save him.
Dylan Wells is a real person, according to ESPN. I have no other proof.
I just want to remind you guys that the Devils last year had a very bad goaltending situation, to say the least.
Yeah.
They played 7 goalies. We are halfway through the season. Chicago has played 5. Do they break that record? Do they play 8 goalies?
Do we know what the record is? Is New Jersey the record? Most
goalies to play for a.
Because it's got to be a new record. Because before, like, goalies played 70 games a year.
Oh,
it's got to be the Devils. Oh, it might be.
Oh God, team. No. So the Devils tied it.
Is the other one recent?
At one point, it was the Quebec Nordiques.
Okay.
Of 7. I lied to you. No, in 3 years ago now, in 2018, 2019, the Philadelphia Flyers had Cam Talbot enter the net, and that was the 8th goalie to appear for the Philadelphia Flyers. That year, they had Mike McKenna make one appearance, Alex Leon make 2, Michael Neuwirth made 6 starts.
Because he fainted, didn't he? Was that this season that he like?
No, that was no. He fainted in 2017 or 2018.
Okay.
It was post the fainting, but I do remember that. That was terrifying.
Yeah, that was Neuwirth, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So we've got those 3. I mentioned Cam Talbot, so that's 4.
Carter Hart.
Calvin Pickard, because Calvin Pickard's still in this league.
I forgot he was alive, man. Calvin Pickard.
Anthony Stolarz, the legend I mentioned before.
Ooh.
Carter Hart, who made his debut that year. And then
I'm so sorry you had to come into that.
Oh, yeah. No, that's how they found out that Carter Hart was a guy, because he just was like, hey, we have no one.
Oh, no.
And including,
do
you know who? I did not mention one. This one I did not mention was the starter going into the year for the Philadelphia Flyers.
Is he still in the league? Because Zach,
He shouldn't be. Still in the league.
Oh my God, is he playing? Like, does he have like more than 10 games played? Oh
he is in the NHL. He has
wasn't Martin Jones.
He has played in 12 games this year.
It's not Martin Jones because he was with Philly.
No.
Okay.
No. This is a guy who.
Who's he with?
Here's what I'm going to say. We talked about Jake Allen before. At one point in time, he was a part of a goaltending tandem with Jake Allen.
Oh, the guy from St. Louis. Okay.
You're right. It's the guy from St. Louis.
Thomas Greiss? No. He's still with
Jordan Bennington?
No. What? No,
Jordan. No. Natasha, that was an awful answer.
Yeah, no.
I was much closer with Thomas.
Natasha,
Greiss.
he's not in St. Louis anymore.
Oh, okay.
Has not been in St. Louis for like almost 10 years.
I don't know.
I don't know, man.
Ryan Elliott.
No, he's still Brian Elliott's still in the league.
Brian Elliott is the backup goaltender for the Tampa Bay Lightning. He has a 9-3.
Oh, he's got it made. He's got such an easy job. I love goalies who play backup in Tampa because it's always like the weirdest guy you can think of. Like Louis Domingue did it.
You put some respect on that man's name. No one can do backup goalie.
Louis Domingue was good at his prime.
What did he eat in overtime against the
Beef
Rangers?
And broccoli.
Beef and broccoli. Then he's like, I'm going to play for the Rangers now.
Yeah.
He almost got beaten in the playoffs series.
He was a
goalie. He was a goalie.
He was a goalie who played games. I'm pretty sure he played for the Devils last year, and it was not fun.
No, he didn't play for them. I thought he was with
Was it? I don't remember when.
He played for Tampa.
He played
for Tampa for a little bit.
He played for Tampa for a little bit.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and then right after Tampa, he signed with the Devils. Or no, he didn't sign with the Devils. He was traded for a 7th-round pick.
Ooh, that's goalies you get for a 7th-round pick. Yeah. The Devils had a fun time last season.
He did not.
It's all fixed now.
Thank you so much for putting up with us again this week. We look forward to talking with all of you next week. If you have any questions, please, or anything you want to ask us at all, please leave a comment down below. Follow us on Twitter. We are extremely active with each other. We'd like to be more active with you.
Our banter on Twitter is amazing. Follow all of us.
We need a fan base.
We have a fan base. We have people who are going to watch Natasha probably eat a chip. If the season were to end,
looking that way.
Natasha.
One day, I will eat the chip.
Even if she doesn't lose the bet, she's
probably.
I feel like me and Zach consider a high horse because Zach, I think we're perfectly safe from having to eat this.
You're right. We're perfectly safe individuals. Where if we were not involved in this bet, we would not eat that chip. We would look at that chip and say, "No, there is botulism."
But our teams have done a good enough job this season to keep us safe.
Yeah. Really, it's just me versus the chip. Like it's not even you guys anymore.
That's kind of what it's turning into. In my defense, when we made the bet, though, I genuinely thought Toronto would be like fighting for this chip.
No, they're fine.
They're okay for now.
Yeah. The kids are going to be all
Rangers
right,
and Vegas. It's really those two that are. Natasha, you better be careful.
It's a long season, man, and it's not like the point difference is larger than 7 from first to last. Anything could happen here, man. There's too much.
Sure.
There's too much. Anything could happen.
The Leafs are one injury away from eating caviar Dorito.
Tanks are incoming.
That's true. We haven't got the tanking season yet. True tanking season.
One last thing before we go. Natasha, should the Rangers send down Alexis Lafreniere to the AHL?
Yes.
See, I was thinking about this, and
he is waiver exempt. Right?
As much as I
entry level deal
like and respect Lafreniere, I don't think he's up to snuff right now. Like he needs some.
Let him dominate in the AHL and bring him back. Get him some confidence.
Oh, also the Rangers need to trade Sammy Blais.
Yeah.
Sorry, they need to trade him.
For Tony Diaz,
my whole thing is you shouldn't be exempt from going through the development stages just because you were drafted in a high spot.
Yeah.
So
it was the Sidney Crosby comparisons that got him into the NHL immediately. They really he probably should have gotten a shot in the NHL early. It just didn't work, and now it's been a while, and it hasn't worked ever.
Yeah, it's
at least Seattle admitted defeat with Shane Wright and sent him down. And then
they didn't just send him down; they sent him way down.
They sent him down, brought him back, let him score against Montreal.
Yeah. They sent him down for his overage year. When was the last time we saw a guy drafted that high play his overage year? Let me rephrase. A guy drafted that high play his overage year where the plan wasn't from day one for him to play his overage year.
I really don't.
The closest thing I can come up with is not even really a close situation.
Goalies, but those don't count.
Those don't count. The situation I was thinking of was Jonathan Drouin, but even then, he refused to report to the AHL.
Yeah, Jonathan Drouin's just a diva. So
ultimately, the biggest story of his career was demanding a trade out of Tampa. He got traded to Montreal. They moved him to wing. Montreal traded for a franchise center, and they moved him to wing.
And gave up Mikhail Sergachev for
him.
Mwah!
Artwork. All right. So, one more time, thank you so much for listening this week. Please leave a comment down below. Follow us on Twitter, and we will catch you next time.